Hi guys, we're in a different location. I'm back in the front room where my space used to be. And the reason for that is I did a kernel update on my laptop and now she's no go. So I am on the very last, excuse the mess in the background. I got the very last row here to put on my hexagon Afghan. A hexagon? I don't know. But anyway, you can see I've got it going on. And as I add a row, I have to repeat what's going on here. I have not made any half hexies to go in here, but I'm going to attempt a border just using the leftover yarns that I have. And we'll see how far I get. But I thought I'd just show how I'm attaching the rows, because these were all put in. You can see all of the tails on the back that I still have to sew in, because in between the rows I left all these tails. I did not weave these in yet, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because as I'm attaching the rows, it leaves just a little bit of space here. And because I have those tails at the back, I can turn it to the back, and then I'll just sew this so that it closes up that little hole that's right there. So how I put the rows on is, I'm looking at this. So the next row has to fit in here. So I get the last block on this row and I just stick it here. So I know it's going to connect here, and then I clip it together, and then I go to the next place where they meet and I tuck the tail to the back from this row, and I just kind of clip it in place. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I just do this the whole way across with my little plastic clips. Let me maneuver it a little bit. It's getting a little harder to deal with, especially in this chair, but I've been sitting here all morning. So hi, Nettie. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Violet. Hi, Carol. All right, so now we've got the tail on this row, so I'll tuck it behind, and I'll go to the next point of that hexie, and I'll just put them together and put a clip on it. And then this tail on this other row that I didn't leave very long, we'll tuck it to the back and clip them together. I could bring you guys just a little bit closer. Maybe point down farther. I'm going to break this again. Scott's going to go, why are you tearing it up again? So anyway, so here's a tail from where these two blocks were joined. I tuck it to the back, and then I just match it up with the like shell in this block. That's what I'm matching up. Because what I'm going to do when I put them together, the blocks are back to back. So I'm going just in the stitch that's at the back of the block. So I'll go into the back loop on this one. And then because this one here is facing back, I'll go through the back loop on that. So I'm only going through the two back loops. And we're going to do slip stitches. But first I've got to get it all clipped together. And we start from the other end anyway. So we'll tuck that to the back and clip this in here. I do have one block that's a little screwy, and I haven't come across it yet, so I figure it's on this last row. So yeah. Most of these Afghans like this, they make half Afghans for the end that's over on the side here. Did I do that right? Yeah, I did. Oh, I forgot I put the tea kettle on. Hang on. Oh, I'm not moving too quick yet. wanted to turn that off so it doesn't wake Greg up, because Greg worked 12 hours last night, I think, on his first night at the new job. So, anywho, back to it. We'll push this out of our way. I love this desk. Glad I have a desktop that I can fall back on when this kind of thing happens. I'll tuck those tails to the back of the Afghan. Match this point up. The reason I'm clipping these is because if you try to maneuver this big Afghan and get your rows in line, it's impossible. This thing is, yeah, it's getting, I'm glad this is the last row. I was going to do these in segments, but then I got to thinking I'll mess that up if I try to do that, where you have to go in and out on the one edge. And I did, like I said, I did not make the half hexies to fill that space in. So I'm going to try something, and if it works, you'll see it. If not, I'll have to make half hexies. Oops. But that bin I picked up at Ollie's, this is the yarns I have left here. And these are from all this yarn, for the most part, except for the 2 skeins of this sage that I'm using now. All of this was left over from my temperature blanket. So my border is going to be multicolored because I'm going to use what I have. I'm not going to buy anything else. And I want this to stay kind of, you know, like a summer garden. But I must thank Lucas. This is Lucas Yarn's idea to do this. I'm just the weirdo that decided to do hexagons instead of squares like everybody else. Because, you know, I have to be different. Life would be boring if we were all the same. It would be really boring. I'm just kind of randomly making sure that the points are near each other, that we'll meet up eventually. Hallelujah, we're almost to the end. I'm going to have to sit on the floor to sew all these ends in. I'll just lay the Afghan flat, face down, and sit on the floor and watch a movie and start sewing ends in, and have to get up and take a break every now and then, give my knee a break. I told Scott one day I want a workshop where I have a huge table that I can lay a whole quilt flat, quilt or Afghan, so I don't have to do all that on the floor anymore. Let's see. Hi, Gail. And I can't change the autofocus on this computer. Hi, Deborah, Kathy, Heather. Oh, and somebody else I hadn't seen in a long time was in Dee Dee's, and that was Patricia Stubbs, and she said she's been real sick. So that's why we haven't seen Patricia. So y'all keep Patricia in your hearts, please. Huh. I don't know. I don't know if I'd want sewing thread in my Afghan. I like using the yarn. This has been a very involved project, and Lucas has finished his, because most of the people did, you know, traditional granny squares, and they've been posting pictures in Lucas's group. And I told him, I said, just, you know, if you want to do your video showing everybody's, just go ahead, because this is going to take me a bit longer. And I don't mind sewing the tails in, but it's going to take me a bit of time. I'm not going to be able to sit and just sew all these in, because I've got the long rows to sew in, and then everywhere this way, there's 2. There's 1 on each end. So when Kathy, when you said 120 tails, I have double that to sew in. So yeah, it's going to be a minute. We're almost to the end. And they might look a little off, but it's holding them. All these clips are holding it to make it a little bit easier on me. All right. And this will start here. So this is where we're going to start, because this is the side of this one. So you can see you end up where a half hexie should go in between there. But I'm going to try to do a border without that. So what you do to get started is you start with the block that's facing you, and you find your shell, which is the 2 double crochets and a chain 1 and then 2 double crochets. We're going to go into the 1, 2, 3, the third double crochet on this one, and the same on the one behind it. And you want to be just in the back loop only. And I'm just going to grab this around here and pull it in. And I just bring that back over the top. And then I'm not doing a knot or anything right now because I'll sew that all in, but I do like to leave a big tail. So then you go into the next stitch in the back loop there, and then you go in the back loop of this one, and we just do slip stitch, not single crochet. If I did a single crochet, it would have a raised up area. This lays nice and flat by doing the slip stitch. So next we have the chain stitch that's between the 2 segments. We got to do that one. So go in the back loop of that and the back loop there and slip stitch. And you just kind of match your stitches up as you go along. So you're always going into the same stitch on a different block. So that's the second double crochet, that's the second double crochet. I hope that makes sense. Now we're in this chain stitch, so back loops only. And you just do that all the way across. And if you look and you're ending up in the wrong place, it's because you've missed something. And it's real easy to pull it back out. And I take the clips out as I come to them. And this is the part I really wanted you guys to be able to see. Hi, Mary King. And just keep working just like this in the back loops only until you get to the next, what I call a shell, because you've got 2 double crochets, a chain 1 and 2 double crochets. Wherever there's a point on the hexagon, you actually have a shell that runs through the middle of it. All right. So we're in the second double crochet in this segment. And there, we're almost to the beginning of that shell. And where I have tied in the ends on the actual blocks, I do have a little bit of mix up on them. So now what you're going to do when you get to the shell, and you have, what we're going to have is we're going to work half of this shell on this block here. We'll work the 2 and then the chain, and then we'll work the chain and then the 2. It's kind of confusing, but we'll work it out. So I'm going to get in the back loop of that first stitch, which is here, and then the back loop there, and do that, and then do your next stitch, back loop, and then find the second stitch here, back loop. Now I don't know how others do it, but I'm doing what I'm going to do next. I'm doing to make it even more stable. So I'm on this block here, I'm going to work back loop of that chain stitch on that shell, then come over to the stitch I've been working in, work in that chain's back loop, pull that up and through. Now I'm going to jump across to the chain that's on the corner of this one, because we've worked all the way up to that chain section. So I get the back loop of that chain, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to go through the same back loop on this other chain on there. And that gets 2 stitches that carry me from these 2 into the one that I'm sewing into. And it's the reverse when you get down here into the lower part of the back hexagon, because this goes down now. So you do it a little different when you're going in the opposite direction. So now we're going to go into this one, into the back loop of this double crochet, and then find that opposite one, or the same on the block behind. And there you go. And then we've made it, and we're working 2 more blocks together. Probably clear as mud. You can see where that thread's pulling up. If that bothers you, you can reach to the back and just kind of pull it back out of your way. That's where you're going to be stitching in. So did that make any sense at all? Let me move my legs. I'm trying to, this thing is just a beast at this point. I probably should have showed you guys how to do this. So then you just keep going, and I'm in a chain stitch here, back loop, come back onto this block, get in the back loop of that. And it looks like that would be the front loop, but remember, they're back to back. So that's the back loop of that block. That's why I'm saying back loops only. And I think this gives you a real nice finish. And it'll look like it's got this tying it all together, but on the back, I'll show you when I get to the end, it actually lays nice and flat. So this would look really pretty on your bed or back of your couch or whatever. And this will definitely be one of those things that I will never give away. This has been a real labor of love, that's for sure. It's quite obvious when you've missed a stitch, because you won't have like a double crochet back to a double crochet. It'll be obvious that you've missed something and need to back up a little bit. So I'm going in the chain stitch now and get this clip out of my way. All right. So now I'm at that point where I need to work. This half connects to this block here, but then the other half of this stitch is going to connect on the next hexagon. So that's the only real tricky part. So that's into a double crochet, and then I got to get this over. And right now you can tell, I think, maybe not, I have messed up somewhere. So what I do is I pull it out until I come back to a point where I can see that I'm in the right spot. All right, because that's in the first double crochet of one, and that's in the first. So let's start from there and be real careful. Make sure I haven't missed anything. That's the chain, and that's the chain. And then I'm back in the first double crochet, back in the first double crochet. Once I finish the next switch, from one block to the next, I'll come and check chat. So if you need me to explain anything, that'll be the time. And this is the chain. Okay, first one. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Somewhere I've messed up. Let's see. 2 and 2 and 2. Oh, you know what? This has got too many. This is the squirrely block. Okay. All right. Let me think how I'm going to fix this, because this has an extra, it has an extra bit in it that I'm going to need to fix. because I didn't want to remake this block. That was me being lazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be bad, and I'm just going to work a couple stitches together. So I'll pull that through, maybe carry it over. This is me faking it out now. So I don't want to confuse you, but I knew this was on this block. I just knew it. I said, as soon as I go to show them, I'm going to have to do something to fix that. So I'm going to just work this one in here and then work this one. I don't know if this is going to work, but I think it'll be okay. And I still haven't taken up enough. I know this looks crazy now. I might have to show you on another one because right now I'm just trying to get down here. All right. So I'm going to stick that in there. And then I'm back to a chain. All right. Now, okay, now we're in the right spot. That looks really bulky right there, but I think it'll be fine. The only time I'll have trouble is probably when I go to do the border. Sometimes you just have to fudge your way through. Okay, so I've worked into the backs of those two double crochets. So now I'm going to work in the space. So I'm going to put my hook in the back loop of this chain and then do the back loop on that block and pull it up. And now I'm going to go back through that same chain, but come over to the next half a shell on the next block here and go into that chain space and draw up. And then back loop and back loop. See, I told you we'd find that goofy block. So now I'm back on track. It looks a little heavy along there, but not too bad. Yep, once the whole thing is done, she's in the shop making Mother's Day stuff for the next show. Oh, cool. Did you hear I have kittens under the doghouse? Neighbor's cat came Sunday and she started following us around, and then she went under Bernadette's doghouse and had kittens. I don't know how many are under there. I'm trying not to disturb her because, you know, if you disturb a mother cat too much, she'll move them and then I'll never see them. You know, I'm trying to rescue this bunch. And then, yeah, she gave us presents. I told Scott we ought to just get her spayed and let her live in the yard. She can't come in the house. We're full on cats in the house. And I'll have to find homes for the babies. But I didn't see any questions. And like Gail said, once you get it all made, I'll probably be the only one that'll be able to tell where it is. And since it's my Afghan. Now, if I was making this, you know, to sell to somebody, I would make another block. I messed up on one block, and it's hanging on the wall in the other room because I ended up with a pentagon instead of a hexagon. And I still don't know how I did it, except that I was tired. Yeah, presents. Hi, Janet. Janet knows about kitty presents. Janet was gifted kitty presents. But I've been putting her food so that she doesn't have to go far to get something to eat, and change the water out, the dog's water. Uh-oh. Don't fall on the floor. Last night I was trying to do this. I was getting so tired. And then Scott finally came home from teaching. And I was like, I am so ready to go to bed. I am just about to fall over here. All right. So that should be a chain. It is. Oh, somebody's messaging me. All right. So this is a double crochet, and that's into a double crochet. And now I'm back to where I'm doing the chain space between these two blocks into the one behind. So because I'm now in this block is slotting into this. And then back here, it was this block slotting into those two. So you're either in a hill or a valley, on a hill or in a valley. And you've got to make sure you're getting them connected in the right place so that it doesn't, have a hole open up on you. Come on. So I'm going to work into there, but now because I'm working these two into that one, I'm going to jump across and come in the chain space over here and then come back into that same hole on the block on the back and draw through. So there's a slip stitch in both of these blocks into the same mountain in the back. That way it's nice and put together there. I don't know how I ended up with chain 2 there. I'm going to skip that other chain. Yep, I was tired of making hexagons, I think, at this point, because I started making all kinds of mistakes. So, yeah. Oh, Gail has to go. Bye, Gail. I'm looking forward to the weekend so we can finish the fence so Bernadette can pace outside. That's something it just drives me bananas. I don't know why. I think it's a dog thing, and I guess that's why I'm a cat person. Dogs pace too much. Pace, 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 pace. At least this one does. She drives me crazy. And basically, that's all I'm doing is working in my back loops, putting the blocks together, stitch to stitch along until you come to a part where Becky was tired of making blocks or was tired and the blocks are a little wonky and I'm having to fake it till I make it. It's so colorful and just makes me happy. And I haven't been out to the garage. Scott said that he said, do you remember when women's lingerie or panties used to be sold out of the little wooden drawers? And I was like, yeah. He said, guess what's out in the garage? I don't know what he's bought. He said they're wooden. And he got them for like $4. So I need to go out in the garage and see what he's found. He said, I guess you could find a use for them. All right, we're back to where we are working a point into some valleys at the back here. So I'm going to go through the chain on this one and the chain stitch there and pull through. Then I'll go through this same hole again, but in the chain of the next block. And that sews all 3 blocks together at the point. And then I just start working on the next one and go across. I told Scott, I said, I have to get this Afghan finished quick because it's getting hot. And this thing, when it was chilly, it wasn't bad to work on. But now it's like, whew. And then to get a cat on top of it, it's like an oven. And I was on Shannon's the other night, and I kind of did like show and tell of all the Afghans that I've made that I still have around here. I was kind of shocked on how many I actually have in the house. I want to work on and make up a bunch to have for people that come for Christmas next year to choose from. Everybody could choose an Afghan maybe. All right, let's see. I'm back over here. I need to get rid of the clip. I could put my clips away now too in their little bin. All right, we're getting close to another point. Let's see. Like I said, sometimes when I was sewing tails in, I kind of made the blocks a little wonky. So it's hard to tell where the stitch is. So I just make it up on those and go into where I can get into. It'll be all right. All right, so now we're putting 3 together again. So we'll go in this one, and we'll go in the top of the mountain on the back. Then we'll jump to the other side of the valley and grab that loop on the back of the next chain and go back into the loop at the top of the mountain on the block behind and draw it up. And now we're ready to switch and start working down this other. Everywhere you see a little thread sticking up like that, that's something that needs to be sewn in, and it will get pulled to the back. By the time I'm done stitching all those ends in, it's nice and smooth, and I try to sew my tails in really good so they won't back out. And I never cut them too short, and I sew them in 2 different directions to keep them from coming out. You know, somebody throws it in the washer and dryer. My sampler Afghan is getting kind of, because I use it all the time and it's been through the laundry a few times. I need to get one of those sweater shavers to get all the little stuff off. Hi. 20 minutes of raking dried perennials and I'm exhausted. For us last weekend, we were working on the fence and I was trying to clean up after that blooming magnolia tree. As a northerner, I thought magnolia trees were wonderful and awesome until you own one or have it on your property. They are dropping something all the time. It's not just fall leaves. You get leaves falling every day of the year. So I'm ready for a smaller project. You see who's boobity booping me. Make sure it's not Scott saying, do you want me to pick up a sandwich? Because we need to eat leftovers. I can't cook anything else until we eat up the leftovers. Look, dude, I told you could come put a sign in the yard. You don't need to have money from me or any of that. Sorry. Auntie Loopy's leaving. Oh, wait. I'm under what? Hang on. I need to look at this. Gulf Coast is going to be getting some nasty weather, and it looks like the edge of it might come up toward us. We'll probably just get rain. I see the Gulf Coast is covered in nasty looking radar. After that windstorm we had that broke the fence off, I'm a little nervous about tornadoes and hurricane season. If you ask me, this weather's getting nasty early this year down here. All right, I'm not quite on the mountain and in the valley yet. I've got another couple stitches to go here. Okay, now let's come up this side of the mountain. Oh, I got to go through the back. And now we're at the top of the mountain here, so we got to go in the valley across these two back here. So into that one. And then I'm going to go back into the same top mountainside here and into the valley of this side. And then I'll continue on. You know how you sign up for mail lists and all that? And I'm on Yarnspirations and Premier Yarns and Lion Brand Yarns. And I don't remember which one it was, Yarnspirations. But look at this cool bag. And this would be a reprieve from this big project. Look at that bag. Isn't that cool? So that might be a project. And then some simple crocheted socks off the Lion Brand site. I think I have some sock yarn back there. All right, just plugging away until I get to the other side. It seems like I'm never going to get to the other side. I usually have Midsummer Murders playing or something like that I've seen them all, so I can follow the story without looking at the screen. I just have background noise on. And I think I prefer this over like taking a needle and sewing them together. I like this better. I think it gets a better finish. And I like it better than single crochet too, because you get that lumpy bump in the blocks. This lays pretty smooth. Oh my gosh. I gotta let my leg down. Ooh, I gotta rest a minute. Oh, I saw Mary's scarecrow video. He needs some new hair. You gotta go thrifting and get him some wild hair. Of course, that might not be good for the birds. All right. Now, where is my stitch? Back here. If I can get into it. All right, we're going to fake this one and we're going to do it here. All right. Then we'll go into the back of this one. Can't believe the dog is finally laid down and quit walking around. All right. Some of these I got really tight. All right. So now I need to jump to the other block over here, go in that chain space, and then come back, go into the top of that mountain. And I can reach back here and I can pull my thread back. There we go. Not that one. The other one. Oh, Kathy had to go. We understand. We get this fence fixed, and then I'm hoping the next project will be toting tile in and getting it hung so the bathroom is done. Sure would like it done for my anniversary next month. That would be so nice. Oh, young man next door has come home to let their puppy out. They got a puppy. He's getting kind of big though. He comes home at lunch to take the dog out to the bathroom, and Let him run around a little bit. Oops. Okay, there goes that. Okay. We're just going to work from the floor off that skein of yarn now because it's almost gone. Hi, Kim. So I'm just doing a back loop join on hexagons. How many more do I have? Oh my God, it goes on forever. So I went looking for some borders for this. And I tried to look for a border that did not include the half hexagons because I don't want to make a bunch of half hexagons because I'm kind of over the hexagons for right now. And then I noticed Lucas was talking about doing a hexagon sweater, and I'm like, good luck. I'm done with hexagons for at least a little while. I think they're beautiful, but this whole project was quite the undertaking. But I am proud to say the only yarn I bought was some more green, sagey green, so I could kind of have a sage green to kind of pull it all together. And I've used almost all of, well, a good bit of the yarn that was left over from the temperature blanket. I did what, last year, or was it the year before? I don't know. I know it took forever, and that thing is huge and it's heavy. Did I do that right? I did. That's the bad part when you're trying to talk and do this. It's easy to get sidetracked. Oh my gosh. And I've been doing this enough. I'm getting tired. When I get tired, my hands start shaking. Might be time to take a break and look at chat. I'm going to draw up a loop, a nice size loop, so I don't start undoing it. And then show you, this is the front. Okay, this is the front. And on the back, when you look at the back, you'll see all the tails I got to sew in. But you can see the back just looks smooth. And when I sew my tails in, I'll sew them in such a way that you won't be able to see where they went. It'll all just disappear and be smooth. I have done the first couple rows. I've already sewed the tails in right here. See, they just disappear. But I have a bunch of tails. I don't know. With me having cats, there's no way I'm putting tassels on a blanket. They wouldn't last at all. But I think that would be cool looking, but not for me with this many cats in the house. And I'm about to pull my thing apart. So yeah, I've successfully got the working yarn wrapped all up in the Afghan now because it's down to just this. Yarn puke. It's down to yarn puke. Oh man. Okay. So I don't know if you guys want to hang with me. I still have a ways to go here. Let's see, where are all the clips? Oh, sorry guys. I have another 3 feet to do. I'll hang with you if you don't mind me fussing with this a bit. I am going to look at chat though and let my hands rest a bit. I saw some kind of, they were like compression socks for your hands. So I guess compression gloves. I might just put you guys up. Excuse the mess in the background. I throw everything on the dining room table. Oh, well. You can hear the birds outside. At least I can. So this is where my craft room used to be, but I've moved to the other side of the wall. So now this is kind of like half office, half living room. My son's TV and his couch is in here. Keep thinking I'll move him all out to the bonus room, everything, all his stuff. Just let him have the bonus room, move him out there. But Scott still wants his hobby space out there too. So anyway, for those that have been following me for a while, the flower pictures are all on the wall now. So I have like a whole thing of those month flowers. They all got on the wall finally. And the interesting art that we got that was done in the 60s, that's in the hallway with that $14.99 mirror that we picked up. Oh, I can't get this to do. So yeah. They look good together. And I recently posted a picture of, I think it was a bedroom, and it had all these florals. So I bought one picture that's got some purple to it because the bathroom is painted vivid violet. And so I told Scott, I kind of want to do that picture, but with florals all in purples and aquas, and hang them in there. He said, yeah, our son will love that, because that's the bathroom our son uses the most, is the hall bathroom when it's working. Yeah, remodel city. That's what it is here. But I think it'll be pretty. We'll see if my idea wins out on that. So, yeah, you can see I have cats. There's a cat toy. There's a stuffed cat that I made. And there's cat hair right there, because they got in a skiff this morning. I don't know what it was about, but Tippy and Howard got into it with each other. Okay. Here. Come over here, grab that. I'm getting so tired. But anyway, I'm going to have to stop because my hands are hurting. Yeah, the cats get into it sometimes. I might not start sewing ends in until tomorrow. I'm going to take a break, and then I'll come back and finish the last 2.5 feet of the last row. And then I'm thinking I'm just going to go around it and follow the pattern. So wherever there's a shell, I'll do a shell, and then I'll work a shell together in here. And I'll just go around and see if it will work out. I might have to do some, I don't know. I'm going to play with it and come up with my own border, because I didn't like any of them that I saw. Well, I'll take that back. Hang on. I did print off a couple pictures, but the sites were such that they showed the Afghans, but they didn't give instructions for the borders. I don't get that. If you're going to tease me with the border, give me the pattern for the border, or sell me the pattern. But anyway, let me show you the two I printed off. I got these off Pinterest, and it's not a very good picture, but I like that border. But this is the one I really liked, and the picture kind of sucks, but I really like that border. And I think if I look at it hard enough, I think I could copy this. because it looks like they went all the way around the perimeter with a single crochet. And then where those dips are, where they would normally have a half a hexagon, it looks like they've done treble crochets maybe to make this big fan. I think that's what that is. And then it looks like they did another row of single crochet, and then they did a row of just some loops, just like chains, and then you reattach it into the single crochets. And it looks like they have, I'd have to look at this. I'm going to have to pull this picture up again. But it looks like they did like the start of a pineapple is what they used to create that arch on there. And then it almost looks like there's some picots along the top of it. I just thought that was really pretty. So I don't know. I guess I'll start with just trying to get around it. I don't know. I have this much of this skein, and then I've got this whole skein, and that would probably be enough to get around for the single crochet, so I could uniform the green all the way around it. And then I could pull, I have a lot of the baby blue, and I have a good bit of red, so I could do a border of baby blue and red around. The only other two colors I have that are kind of a good quantity is the creamy color or beige and the turquoise. I don't know. This is all just me thinking. So, oh, Mary, thank you for my next thrift haul. Thank you so much. I need to have it done, but the whole reason it's not been done is Scott used to work for Abbott Labs. And then right after I found out of what's going on with my knee, this was like 5 years ago now. I went and I had a cortisone shot, and that held for quite a while. But now if I overdo it all, it aggravates it. I put compression socks on today because that helps some with the circulation improvement. And then he got a job through a temp service, and the insurance we had through them, it didn't cover anything, and we couldn't afford the surgery out of pocket. So I need to get with my new nurse practitioner. She said it's easy. You're in and out same day. And I'm like, yeah. I said, but I need to find out what the cost is going to be, and that kind of stuff for something hospitalized. It's a chunk of change. When I went for when I got dehydrated and I felt like I was having a heart attack, and my heart was just jumping all over my chest. Drink your water, drink your water. I had to pay them $1,700 before they'd even give me the IV. Hospitals have changed, you guys, since the pandemic. Just say hospitals have changed. I'm not going to go on a rant. Just not going to do it. So, and then the bill was still another $2,500. So yeah, it just kept adding up. I needed the fluids they gave me. They were real concerned because my blood pressure was like way low. If you get dehydrated, you guys, don't mess around. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So hydrate well before you start any kind of physical activity, even if it means extra trips to the bathroom, ladies. Mary says she'll rant for me. That's okay. The cost is what's holding me back. And Scott just went and had cortisone in his knees. He has arthritis really bad in his knees. And he finally let them, he wanted to get that stuff that's like a gel put in there, but the insurance said no. So they just went ahead. They would pay for a cortisone shot, and he is getting around so much better. And I told him, I told you so, because I told him how it was like instant relief. When I first found out about my knee problem, they said, we can give you a shot of cortisone that'll hold you for a while, but it'll get to a point where you're not going to be able to manage it, especially with the kind of tear that I have. It's just, all it has to do is that little pie-shaped thing of mess that's in there flips up and it gets caught between my kneecap and my joint. And it's a special kind of pain when it does it. It's really special. Yep, 64 ounces a day. Costs are horrible. Yep. Yep. Dehydration is bad. Yeah. It's always something. I try not to complain, but you know, when you're hurting, it's hard not to complain when you feel that bad. But anyway, on that note, Devin's probably on or going to be shortly. I'm done with crocheting for today. I think this is going to have to just wait for a while. I don't have very far to go, but I'm just like so tired of it. And I'm hoping Scott doesn't have to teach tonight. I'm hoping he can get my laptop up and going again, because I can't really do art in here. All my supplies are in there. And there's no moving this desk. This is a old military desk, and it weighs a blooming ton. We have it on those easy to move things. It's still not easy to move. No, it's not easy to move. It's that heavy. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for joining me. And when this is done and I get a border on it, I'll just post pictures. I'm not going to try to teach you the border because I'm kind of going to be doing the border on the fly and maybe looking at the pictures and seeing if I can decipher it on my own. And I'll just let you see what I come up with. Okay. Thanks for the thumbs up. Oh, can you see my grandchild has come in? Cole, come here. Cole. Let me go get him. He's pretty. So there he is. Come here, Cole. You got to be on YouTube. Come here. No. What do you mean no? You got to come say hi to Mary. She thinks you're pretty. You are pretty. Oh, you're drooling. You're drooling. There you go. Now you're on YouTube. What are you doing? Why are you hiding your face? Come on, say hi. What? All right. Let go. You got to let go, bud. Don't grunt at me. There he goes. The front door is open and he doesn't like that. All right, guys. Bye.